Yeah, it's called the passing lane. You want to know why? It's for passing.
Hard Rock.
Are you ever going to get to a place where you find out something new, something you didn't agree with before? Like, probably not.
Hard Rock.
Although at this point, I think you're probably the moron if you're expecting anybody else on the road to do anything properly.
Hard Rock.
It's just science. It's not belief. It's not, political, whatever. It's not control. It's just science.
Hard Rock.
What I really want to see is a way to keep Long Island afloat while sinking all of Florida.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
In a move that should surprise absolutely nobody at all, I am so goddamn irritated today. It is almost unbelievable. Only saving grace is that I did indeed get myself a new mouse. So we'll see if all my clicks are on point today, and then we'll just kind of go from there. I think it's going to be a great show. Jimmy, what do you think?
It's always a no!
Well, you're entitled to your opinion. Which is actually why I'm so irritated today. I'm so tired of people and their stupid opinions. By the way, I can't even just get into it right away because I've got housekeeping to do, people. Can't expect me to just drop everything and complain. Do you? Can you? Will you? Probably not. Yeah. So, welcome to another edition of Hard Rock Lunchbox. By the way, we did some fact-checking here. I had my people, we all have people, but I had my people. It looks surprisingly like me, by the way. I had my people check into it, and we are indeed in our 9th year here at the Hard Rock Lunchbox, which means that I have done an amazing job of recognizing said anniversary and blowing right through it because I just wasn't paying attention, and I was honestly too busy. And I actually was going to do something today, this week, to celebrate the anniversary, but I had to go get a boo-boo. Boo-boo. I had to get some lab work done because mainly all this is still all kind of messed up. So, gotta do what you gotta do. Apparently, I had too much blood in my arms, and they just wanted to take some of it. I'm not happy about it, but I did it. It's always good to rev me up for a show by following behind people that really don't know how to drive. By the way, seriously, let's talk about a couple of things. Because if you're the person in the left lane, in the passing lane, right, in all other, the other 49 states, if you're cruising in the passing lane, you're going to get pulled over. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Passing lane is the left lane when there's more than one lane. Yeah, it's called the passing lane. You want to know why? It's for passing. And if you're cruising in the passing lane and you're doing exactly 55 miles an hour because that's the speed limit and you are now the authority of that lane, you are a complete asshole. Stop doing that. Stop legislating morality. It's literally what you're doing. Well, this is the speed limit, so everybody should go it. No, fuck you, dude. Nobody cares what you think. I assure you, I do not. So stop doing that. And also, if you really are some of those people that do not signal and think you don't need to signal, can I just tell you just how wrong you are? There's a lot of other stuff going on. Not only is the person behind you would like to maybe know that you're about to slow down, but also the people across from you, coming this way, that also might have turned in that time if they knew you were slowing down, could have also done that. I don't care so much about changing lanes on the highway if you know what you're doing and it's not affecting anybody else. But if it's going to make you slow down for an off-ramp, you goddamn better well signal because everybody else is counting on everybody else doing this job correctly. Although at this point, I think you're probably the moron if you're expecting anybody else on the road to do anything properly. That makes me the moron. I said it. Isn't that true, Jimmy?
It's always a no!
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Another programming note, I am still not tired of this button. Am I tired of this button, Jimmy?
It's always a no!
God damn right I'm not. Housekeeping, you distracted me. Damn it. Top 20 listeners. Excuse me, top 20 listener. That's probably more accurate. And funny. A brand new episode of the Top 20 is out. If you don't know by now, the Top 20 is basically what we do at the Top 20. First 20 minutes of the Hard Rock Lunchbox, except I video it, so you get to see all of this for free. Yeah, I know. Face for radio. Got it. But this week's episode, it talks about the SI-sized explanation of why people keep locking themselves out of their house. Now, there was definitely some dissension in the ranks on the chat of here on New Regal Radio, which you can reach at 99WNRR.com all the time. But you can definitely reach it right now because we're live. I mean, not if you're watching this. If you're watching this, we're live from the past. But if you want to check in noon to 2 on Thursdays, we're always there. There's always a lot of nonsense going on, and apparently Giovanna has had quite the morning, so I'll be catching up on that later. All right. So that's that, and I say that if people continue to lock themselves out of their house, maybe they should stay locked out of their house, and I still believe that. Blah, blah, blah. A bunch of other stuff going on. Bacon is my podcast, still going strong. I started watching the part 2 of the crossover they did with the Emo Social Club, where Mikey Wayman proceeded to call everybody that slept on the first episode an asshole. Thank you, Mikey. In my defense, I was sleeping on nothing. I was actually working. And he did not specify me specifically. But I may go back. I support Bacon as my podcast. I don't know about this Emo Social Club. Although she did have some good answers. They did have some good answers. Like, how do you do your research? Oh, I just ask her if they're cool. And she says they're cool, and we'll do it. I thought that was funny. So check that out. They have 7 questions for Oak Rust Band. They have a bonus 7 questions for Tyler from Saving Vice. Check that out. All that material and more, including the new lyric video for I Run Away, is on Strangerhood TV. Go to strangerhoodtv.com. Bring you right there. Or if you want to go old school, go to YouTube, search Strangerhood, and you'll find it. I'm there. Mikey's there. Jimmy's there. Frank, Chris, Monty sometimes there. I don't know who else is there. We need to expand programming. What we really need, we need star power. So either one of us has to become very famous, or one of us has to get to know Jay-Z really well. I'm voting for Mike. That's my vote. In other news, show news, Revel 9 will be at Amityville Music Hall on the 1st of October. We have tickets. Feel free to message me for them. I think they're either $12 or $15. Honestly, I don't remember. I've only sold a couple of them so far. And then we'll be in Scranton, Pennsylvania on the 29th of October. That'll be fine. We'll be starting to pepper in shows throughout the fall, although we did start we started pre-production on some new recordings, so I think that'll probably take precedence and priority over any shows. I will say, and I did say, that I did an interview with Jackie Raven from Raven Show here on New Regal Radio. Apparently, I heard from Jackie this morning, and apparently she did not hit the record button, which is super, super important once recording something. So, Jackie, we'll reschedule that interview for sure, and I will absolutely recommend that you hit the record button next time, and then we'll actually do it. Or better yet, I'll just have you on my show, and we'll just do it here. And even if I don't hit the record button, it'll be live, so it really won't matter. Won't that be fun?
It's always a no!
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll set it up. Jackie's super cool and super interesting. Super passionate about music, too, so she'd be a really good interview, for sure. But that's about blah, 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 blah. Yeah, quality radio, ladies and gentlemen. Quality radio. So, you might ask yourself, why am I so irritated? Well, that's easy. Bringing it over so I can show you. I think what it comes down to is I'm really quite fine with people having... I think everybody should have their own opinions on things, right? I think people... I want to say people have earned the right to have those opinions. But what I've found is and I'm guilty of this too, for sure, is a level of sort of this self-importance where you feel the need to preach because you have a platform, right? Social media is exactly that. It just gives you the platform from which to preach. I think anybody that does it, we're all guilty. I have lots of friends that don't, and they use social media for their endeavors and stuff like that. And those people, to me, are just brilliant, because I have not been able to do that. I've said for years that I cannot seem to restrain myself when I see something that is just blatantly wrong, especially when it like really ruffles my feathers or grinds my gears. And depending on the week I'm having, like I'll read something and just pisses me off, and I'll just need to vent it out, and I'll do that. But it forces me on occasion to be on social media and read other people's stupid posts, and I refuse to sort of I will snooze people. I will snooze the fuck out of somebody if I need to, but I refuse to just blatantly remove people that I don't agree with, because I've told you, for anybody that's listened over the past 9 years, I've talked about the way the filter bubble works. It was a brilliant TED Talk done years ago. I think it was Eli Pariser that gave it, and just talking about the way information works. And I've written blogs and articles like on how music works and music bubbles and stuff like that. And bubbles are inherently dangerous, right? They build your own echo chamber. So basically all you end up hearing is the stuff you already agree with. No new ideas, no new indoctrinations, no nothing. And that's dangerous because it's static. And it's super dangerous if you're just generally flat out wrong, right? Like that's... You can imagine if this were, the Middle Ages, right? And we were talking about... and you were only friends with flat earthers. Or, no, forget flat earthers. Before Copernicus, people thought that everything, including the sun, revolved around the earth. And if you only hung in those schools, which a lot of people did, a lot of people when Copernicus came out and said, nope, the physics basically bears out that everything goes around the sun. And we know that to be a fact now, but that was not a fact forever. And a lot of people, like intellectuals and the educated masses, like they really had to come to terms with that. And there were definitely schools of thought that, like, absolutely not. This is this. And there's a lot of theology involved. Like, no, everything revolves around the earth because we are, gods, whatever, and blah, 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 and all that other stuff. But can you just imagine, like, that going on in the age of social media and Facebook? Like, where all you're doing is you're just not friending people that think that the earth goes around the sun. And all you're doing is listening to people that say the exact same things that you do. Are you ever going to get to a place where you find out something new, something you didn't agree with before? Like, probably not. It's never going to cross your desk. It was one of the reasons that I used to actually enjoy watching, like, Fox News at the gym, because I don't watch it. I barely watch anything anymore, actually, in my personal life. But I did watch Fox News at the gym, so I can kind of see what they're saying, because sometimes they make some sense. Like, yeah, why is this doing this? Why are we doing this? Why aren't we, doing more stuff at the border? Or like, why are we sending all these guns to you? The problem with Fox is that they're very ideological, right? So as much as MSNBC is going to be like super to the left, like Fox is going to be super to the right. So I think if you watch them both, you get a pretty good picture of what's going on. And I always found that to be useful and important. But I think what's happening now is that people really spend a lot of time just knee-deep, neck-deep even, in their own opinions, in their own echo chambers. And people really start to believe that what they have formulated as an opinion is correct. And a lot of times those people haven't even formulated their own opinion. I know these people personally. Many of them are not capable of forming an opinion of that sort of level of magnitude of understanding. So it's being told to them because of the people that they're listening to, either on social media or regular media or whatever. And that's kind of where it gets dangerous for me, because I think it's just horrible, like some of the stuff that gets said and some of the stuff that gets done. I spent a lot of time, for example, talking about the way vaccines work a few months ago now, that actually got my video taken down off of YouTube, and then I fought them and won, so they replaced it back on YouTube because I was actually scientifically correct. Like, you know what a big deal that is? Like, dude, seriously, like, I beat YouTube. Like, I fought the law and I won. Like, there's no song for that, and there shouldn't be, because that never happens. It'd be a song of one, and that's telling. It's totally telling. Like, how people's just opinions and whatever, like, will just butt up against scientific fact. And I realize that scientific fact is also not static, right? Those things change. But our understanding of the universe, as understood by experts and taught by experts, is pretty well known. I mean, there are places where things deviate, like theoretical physics and theoretical mathematics, even climate change to a degree, right? Like, a lot of people think this is just like a natural cycle that the Earth is going to do, and other people are like, yeah, well, you know, it's caused by man. And or you could be somewhere in the middle of those things and be like, maybe it is something that the planet just sort of does because planetary science dictates that this happens from time to time. But as a person that lives on this planet and somebody that has the power to maybe slow it down some so that the Earth doesn't become uninhabitable in my grandkids' lifetime, I say we do everything we possibly can to slow it down. But people are focused on, like, on whose fault is it? Is it God's fault or is it man's fault? Like, I don't give a shit, dude. What I really want to see is a way to keep Long Island afloat while sinking all of Florida. And I haven't figured that out yet because I guess I'm just not that good of a scientist. I mean, I don't know exactly, you know, what the reason is, but, like, I'm going to go there. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, like, just already this morning, like, just arguments about, like, how vaccines work and stuff like that. Like, the clear disinformation is just unbelievable. Like, it's a known fact, like how viruses like work and vaccines work. Like, it's not, and it follows all the science. Like, people that the reason there are so many variants of a virus, of any sort of virus, is because people aren't vaccinated against them. So it finds new hosts and it's able to mutate. That's how that works. Look it up. It's from the Mayo Clinic. Look it up. You want to know why we have so many variants going on? Because not everybody's vaccinated, so it keeps finding hosts and it can mutate and create new variants. Vaccines tend to work on the variants that it's encountered, and they keep enhancing those vaccines, and they add, you know, they've already talked about, like, the fall version of the vaccine is going to have, like, all the extra stuff for the different variants, as it should, because that's how that works. It's just science. It's not belief, it's not, you know, political, whatever, it's not control, it's just science. Believe it or not, but, like, you'll be incorrect. And I think what really just sort of set me off today, like, is that was just enough. And that and the drivers. And then what really pissed me off today, and now that I've burned through most of this time, I don't have a lot of time to spend on it, so I'm just going to give you the basics. Like, a very good friend of mine who we diverge politically often, but because it's an intelligent discussion, and I appreciate his opinion. This is somebody that we've hung out together and stuff like that. It boggles my mind sometimes, some of the things that he posts, because I feel like he should know better. And that is probably the most conceited thing that I say to people. And I've been called out on it, and I've really tried to not. But in this case, I feel like he should know better. And this is not a political thing, well, pseudo-political thing, but it's not really a political thing. What it is actually just a misunderstanding of the way things actually work, and then a very, very, like, efforted opinion. And it's okay, I'm just going to read it. So he says this. So Rage Against the Machine is playing they're doing a tour, right? They're doing a tour that was supposed to be in 2020 that they canceled for COVID reasons, and then they've re-upped, and they, you know, demanding that people mask up and stuff. But they're in Madison Square Garden for like 400 dates, right? Because people want to see them, right? It's like Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden. Like, I get it. Like, I would love to get to a place in my career where I'm playing Madison Square Garden for that many dates. That's like, honestly, that alone, like, seriously, good job, Rage Against the Machine. Like, as a band, like, that is an incredible accomplishment. Good for you. However, the tickets for these things are going for like hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars because scalpers and companies like Live Nation are ripping people off. That's the fact. That's what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. People, comedians and bands, and you think like Manuel, the dude from Hamilton, do you think he's really taking $1,500 a seat for those front row tickets? Do you? Nope. No, he's not. And, you know, Billy Joel, do you think he's taking that money? Of all of them, Billy Joel would probably be the most likely, but he's not either. These things are being scalped, and the only people that really kind of stood up for them were Pearl Jam, and nobody supported Pearl Jam when they did it. Nobody. No other bands. They had every opportunity to do this, but bands are selfish, and it's a pretty precarious situation to be in a band. Like, you don't want to be like, well, we're not touring because we want to prove a point, so we're going to starve. Like, I get it. But nobody stood with them. So, like, And so Rage Against the Machine is playing Madison Square Garden a bunch of times. Some of those tickets are going for upwards of $1,000. That's not the face on them. It isn't. Take a look. Find me a ticket that says $1,000 on it. Find it. Okay? So he puts up this post. Rage Against the Machine is frat boy music for fake communists. Okay. Happen to be one of my favorite bands, so now I'm insulted immediately. Like, right away. As much as they are the best at what they do musically, okay, that's good, they are smug phonies who will never get a dime of my money. Really. Smug phonies. Because you know them, personally. Like, at all. You know. I can handle socialists who walk what they talk and are true believers. That's not these guys. Hashtag conscious capitalism. Hashtag rage against rich fake communists. Hashtag Sony Records. Hashtag $400 tickets. Hashtag I saw Fugazi for $5. First of all, if you saw Fugazi for $5, you paid too much. So let's just start there. But like seriously, it's super offensive. Like it's really as a person in a band, it is super, super offensive. And then I wrote, wow, that's some statement. And I said, I especially appreciate lacing into the band that doesn't actually get that money, and not a single word about the ticket and event monopolies actually responsible for it. Plus, Tom Morello has done more for people than most people you will meet in your lifetime. Maybe place the blame closer to where it needs to be. You can not like them all you want, but be accurate in your accusations. And then he has the balls to throw that Brad Wilk, the drummer, has bought a $5 million California home. Do you have any idea how much work Brad Wilk has done and how long they have been a band? Seriously? I mean, right? I mean, it's just stunning that people think that for some reason, like, people can't make a living and all shall be socially conscious. It's just bananas. And I'm frankly just disgusted by people that think that. Like, Rage Against the Machine, as a whole, has done an incredible amount for social justice. Tom Morello, by himself, has done more than most people ever will in their entire lifetime for social justice issues. And like I said to my friend, like, you can not like them all you want, but be accurate in your accusations. It's really important that we start learning, like, what these things mean and who these things affect and why we have the balls to think that we have the correct opinion when all other signs point to the contrary. Stop screaming from the mountain unless you're the most pious amongst us. Because I guarantee it, if you're the one yelling that loud, you're probably not. And that's the top 20, for what it's worth.